The 2023 NBA draft class is one of the most hyped I have ever seen, and it's mostly due to who is expected to go number 1 overall, Victor Wembanyama. But the fact of the matter is there are many other interesting and talented young prospects who are hoping to hear their name called who may have a profound impact in the league. One of these guys is Emoni Bates. Firstly, some background on why he interests me so much. Bates was once considered the best player in his age range in the entire country, the United States. At 13 years old, he stood 6'6", putting him ahead above most of his peers. This, combined with a good work ethic and proper coaching, led him to be one of the most highly sought after young players the AAU circuit has quite literally ever seen. Throughout his sophomore season in high school, Bates averaged a colossal 32 points per game with 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals a night, while shooting the ball very well from everywhere on the floor, including beyond the arc. It was this season where he won the Gatorade High School Player of the Year, becoming the first sophomore ever to win this award. Everything was looking terrific for Bates, but from this point onward things started to get a little weird. Rather than continue high school in a good situation like any other top recruit normally would do, Bates' father created his own private school so that Bates could become even more of the focal point on the court, and so they could play a more national schedule, specifically picking out games against other top programs and recruits. On paper, it is not hard to understand how this could be seen as a good thing. For example, Bates, as a junior, got the opportunity to match up against senior Chet Holmgren, who was the #1 recruit in the nation, and in this game, Bates dropped 36 points. Ultimately though, the team only managed to schedule and play 13 games, which is a far cry from the 20 plus and sometimes 30 plus that would normally be seen in a high school season. But also, you have to keep in mind this was during the pandemic, so it's hard to say anyone was going to get a full regular high school season at this point. His school finished with a 10-3 record, and Bates did look really good. Against the more consistently better competition, he put up 23 points a night. Where his story really gets weird is that Bates, or more specifically his controlling father, decided the next best step for him from here was to forego his senior year of high school and jump to the next level. This is a very rarely seen path taken by elite American prospects. And when it is taken, the next step usually is to go pro. A good example of this is Scoot Henderson, the likely #2 overall pick in this upcoming draft, also left high school early. But he chose to play in the NBA's G League for 2 years, whereas Bates chose to enter the NCAA. Which is technically fine, football players often take this path, but choosing to theoretically play 2 years of college ball over a pro team, or simply finishing high school and then making a decision was unheard of. Even with reclassifying to leave high school early, Bates remained a top 3 prospect in his 2021 high school class. The so-called experts were not holding this odd year of high school ball too heavily against him. Heck, they even pegged him to be the more sure-thing prospect than Paolo Banchero. But maybe we are giving these experts too much credit. After all, these are the same people who said LaMelo Ball was the 21st best player in his class just 2 years prior. Bates spent his freshman year with the University of Memphis in 2022, a program on the rise as a top destination for NBA one-and-dones. His freshman season has been scrutinized to death by this point, but I offer you a different point of view. At 17 years old, he was the nation's youngest D1 player, and I would say he held his own early on when playing weaker competition to open up the season. But as the games ramped up with more difficult opponents, the Memphis head coach made a questionable call to move Bates from the shooting guard to the point guard position. Bates, up to this point in his career, had never played this role, as he had always been a wing player thanks to his size and scoring ability. Still though, he managed to average 9 points a game throughout the season, shooting 44% on his 2s and 32% on his 3s. That's not really good, but it's not horrible. His season was cut short due to injuries, but all in all, for someone so raw, I believe Bates did just fine. In the summer of 2022, Bates dealt with some personal issues that ultimately led to him making the decision to leave Memphis and return to his hometown to play for Eastern Michigan. A smaller university no doubt, but still a D1 program. Right now, in what should really be his freshman year, we are 20 games in, and he has shown a lot. His 20 points a game rank him 18th in all of the NCAA Division I. And what's more impressive is his shooting efficiencies. The 18-year-old has improved his twos to 49% and his outside shooting to 36% on 7 tries a night. This may not jump off the page at you, but remember, most times he is shooting, it is off the dribble and oftentimes well beyond the arc. Bates is his team's best player. Every opponent knows that. Therefore, they design defenses to stop him, yet he is still playing as well as he is. Bates has impressed me the most with his ability to create space for himself to free up looks. He really does look like a pro with his shot creation. This, with his really good size at about 6'8", maybe even more, help him immensely on the offensive end. But I will not pretend that he is perfect. Bates is not the best athlete on the floor. His vertical leaping ability, though once well beyond his peers, is now rather average. Plus, he is very skinny and actually possesses a wingspan shorter than his height. It is these factors that hurt him the most. I believe this, combined with his unusual route that scouts have made very clear they do not appreciate, is what will ultimately lead him to falling out of the NBA draft. But I say, do not count him out. Bates has made strides on the floor this year, and he has proven he can hang with other active NBA players on the AAU and high school circuit. There is no reason he cannot play in the league. Against the nationally ranked University of Michigan this year, Bates dropped 34 points on 12 of 19 shooting, 3 of 6 beyond the arc. That is a taste of what he can do against good competition. This summer, it will not shock me if Bates goes undrafted. According to NBADraft.net, Bates is listed as the 75th best prospect available. The reason for this is usually second-round picks are used on upperclassmen and international talent. This is thanks to their on-court experience, NBA-ready bodies, and at least some NBA-caliber role player skills. Bates does not fit this description. He plays like a guy who's looking to be taken in the lottery, but he does not have the reputation of that anymore. It will take some time for him to prove he can still hang at the pro level, and as a result, I expect him to play many G League games. But eventually, I think we will see Bates on an NBA floor playing meaningful minutes. Thank you guys for watching this edition of Prospect Watch. Please let me know down in the comments what you think of Emoni Bates. Like the video if you have not already, and subscribe for more basketball content. If you have more young prospects that you are interested in, let me know. I'll look into them. If I think they're interesting, I'll talk about them. Thank you guys again. I will see you all next time.